Hey guys, it's Carrie Bojarski back again, and today we want to talk to you a little bit about managing your contact list and also time management. Those two things are both going to help you move forward in your business and not forget people that have asked for your help, okay? So number one, how do you keep track of the people that you're talking to and the people that you're helping every single day? There's a couple things you can do, but it's really going to depend on your personality and what you love. Some people love paper pencil. And that's a great way to start keeping track of people that you're having conversations with. And then if you want to move them over to something that's a little bit more organized and online, there's something called asana.com, ASANA.com. Super easy to use. You can Google how-to videos, and it's going to help you keep track of things. It even allows you to put tags associated with people. So if you have somebody that really is interested in your Eat Clean groups, you can do tag Eat Clean group or hashtag Eat Clean group. And so if you're doing a search for everybody who's interested in that and you want to do a check-in, you just do a search based on the Eat Clean group. Then you have your list of people that were all interested in that, and you don't lose people. So that's a great thing. Some people love Evernote because it's an app that's on their phone, and also something that they can use on their computer. And I've recently found Google Calendars, and pretty much Google has anything available all in one place. There's a task list app that you can have connected to your Google Calendar, and also you have a contact list in there as well. So I like everything in one place, so I'm using that, currently. So you're going to want to take the time to add the people that you're talking to, value them, and put them in a place that you're not going to forget about them. Every business owner that is a successful business owner has some kind of system for keeping track of their contacts, and you just need to choose one for you. I highly recommend, if you're going to do paper pencil, do everything that you do paper pencil and have a nice binder system that you use so you're organized. And if you're not going to do paper pencil, because for me, when I did that, I would lose papers, I would lose Post-it notes. If you're not going to do that, do everything electronic and then have everything be as simple as possible for you so that it's easy, okay? What I'd love for you to do is make some time to add 10 names to your contact list today. And these would be people that maybe you've met out and about, and these people are people that you can connect them to somebody that's going to help their life better. Might not have anything to do with the current business that you have, but you can be of support and help to them, in another way by connecting them to somebody who can, help them. Maybe they're looking for somebody to paint their house this summer, and you happen to know somebody who's a painter, and you think that person does a good job. You can be a connector, for them, okay? Don't think you have time. Think you're busy, 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 busy. I did too before I kind of got my stuff together, if you know what I mean, and focused on my 5 to 7 priorities every single week. When I schedule those in, everything else falls into place. It's amazing. I feel so organized. So we're going to direct you and probably splice into this video a little bit of information about us sharing with you our Franklin Covey time management training experience. It's a start. It's the beginning step that we can share with you. We're only allowed to share 2 things, which is amazing. But these things, when implemented, can start to make you feel so much more balanced in your whole entire life, not just in your business. Everything, it just comes full circle. So take a listen to that. Let us know your thoughts below, and have a... We're going to get started. It is exactly 9 o'clock, and for those of you that are Emerald, love that. We are honoring you by starting on time, and for those of you that know me, it's kind of a big deal for me. I'm usually used to be late for everything, okay? I actually had lunch with a friend on Friday who said, "Oh, I expect you to be late," and she was about 10 minutes late. So I thought that was funny, and she's probably watching this. Not that I was worried that you were late, but you were good. You were good. But she expected me to be late because that was my old MO. I turned over and you're late. Okay. Welcome, you guys, to our Impact Nation Fitness Crew team call. Tonight we have a little special treat for you. Not only special guest Abby Gorsline, but we have some nuggets of information that we can share with you guys that we're permitted to share from our Franklin Covey experience. And pretty much all I can tell you is that it was absolutely life-changing. I felt like I needed a life change. I kind of felt like I was drowning. And I'm really glad that Abby said she was going, because she was really the catalyst in getting me there and actually looking at it seriously. Super glad that I did that. So we have some some good nuggets of content to share with you later that we hope that you will start to implement in your life and start to take baby steps to help you be able to have a little bit more peace and freedom in your life like we have in ours. So, but first we want to talk a little bit about some recognition and some coach updates that we typically do in a team call. So we're going to go through that first like we normally do, and then we'll get into the meat and potatoes. Okay, so first up is the specials for the month of May. If you don't know, the two specials are P90X3, which is kind of like an express program. It's a 30-minute program for anybody that's beginner to advanced athlete. You don't have to have completed P90X or P90X2 to be able to do this. This is something, it's kind of like the T25 of the P90X world, okay? That is normally $205 plus tax for that discounted challenge pack. It's even more deeply discounted in May for only $180. Same thing with TurboFire. Normally $180 is discounted to $140. So for those of you that have clients and customers that were considering these and maybe saving up, this is a good time to reach back out to them and let them know of the additional savings, and they may be able to do it a little bit sooner than what they might have been able to do. So good to follow up, and also good to share with other people that may be looking for solutions, you know, on Facebook, you know, in your personal world, in your personal life. So also just to reiterate to you, for everybody going to Summit and everybody not going to Summit, basically you're still able to earn your Never Give Up t-shirt. If you are going to Summit, you only need to have earned Success Club 5 in April or May. Now, if you are not going to Summit, our company's awesome and wants to give you that chance to earn that t-shirt as well. So you just need to do Success Club 5 in April and May. So if you've already earned April, May, just knock it out of the park and get yourself a free t-shirt. They look pretty cool. They're always comfy and feel very good. So it's always a fun thing to have some wear and share, especially when it's free. So, and for those of you that had earned Success Club 10 in April, do it again in May, and you're able to get a ticket to the Studs and Sequins party at Summit. And that's just a special party that they do one every year, and they call it something different depending on what's going on that year. And it's basically to reward you for your consistency. And they usually give a wristband for you, the person who earns the party, and then a guest pass. So you're able to take somebody with you that may not have earned it, which is always a nice thing. And they always do these things up, and it's around the pool. Nobody swims, really. People just like to get dressed up and dolled up, and it's the ambiance of being around the pool. Things are set up really nice, amazing wait staff, and sometimes some bizarre food that you might not have tried normally, but you're in Vegas, so you might want to try it. You know, I was kind of that way. I've never eaten raw fish before, and I ate it there because I thought, well, you're only in Vegas once a year, you might as well try it. And it really wasn't that bad, but I wouldn't have gone for a second. Maybe if somebody like paid me $1 million, I would have done it, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. But so anyway, some first time things in Vegas is always good. So also, you can win a once-in-a-lifetime chance to be the first PIO workout with Shalene live at Summit. There's contest details in your online office. Okay. Also, if you are a Beachbody mom, you can enter the May social contest to win a VIP spot at the Super Workout at Summit or a reusable Shakeology Shaker Cup. Information also in your online office. Okie dokie. P90X3 contest. For those of you going to Summit, if you want to be up front, Abby Gorsline, at the Summit workout, all you had to do...
I totally entered.
Did you? Good. All you have to do is submit your before and after photos with a short video to enter for a chance to win a VIP spot. Entries are due by Saturday, May 18th, so you still have plenty of time. And also know that you don't have to be at goal. Just submit your before and afters, and who knows, maybe they'll let everybody in that submitted before and afters, because maybe not a lot of people did that. So if you're sitting there thinking, I wonder if I should, or kind of feeling like, oh, I don't know, should I? Just do it. What's the worst that could happen? You end up front and center. How cool. Very cool. All right. Let's see. Also, for those of you that just finished up the Ultimate Reset, share your stories, post your results, and on May 7th, which is coming up in 2 days at 2 p.m. Pacific time. So for us, that's 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. There's going to be a post-reset webcast where he's going to be on live, chit-chatting, and talking a little bit with you. So those of you that did that, you might want to see that. Also, from Monday, today's National Wake Up Call, Tracy Morrow was sharing a little bit with us. She is a founding coach and is in a lot of P90X3 workouts, actually. You guys may have seen her. She's the little blonde that he talks about, was a cheerleader and has 6 kids and all that fun stuff. So if you miss that call because it's not on your radar for Mondays, because maybe you pick one call and that's totally fine, maybe put it on your radar for some personal development within the next week and listen to that playback. Be super helpful for you. All right, cool. Now you can see. That's always nice. So I want to do some recognition, as well. And this week I want to recognize our top coaches from the last week. And these are coaches who had the most personal volume on the team. And I usually do a shout out for like the top 15 to 20. But on these calls, I do about the top 5. So starting at number 5, Jennifer DeSantis, Tracy Jenks, Trisha Cook, Carrie Swain, and Abby Gorsline. Woo! Ah! I feel like we need a, audience. That Danielle Melanson's really good at having different noises pop up. She's really good at that. So, and I want to recognize people who have Success Club points so far in the month of May. So, and you're going to recognize and hear a couple names all over again, which is very cool. Michael Hackworth, Sarah Angelina, and Jennifer DeSantis. Whoa! Very nice, very nice. Yes. So, let me look at the time. Man, good. Sometimes I can get a little long-winded, and I was trying to hurry up so we could get to the meat and potatoes for you guys. So I tried to shave off a couple minutes, and I did just that. So, without further ado, unless, Abby, you have anything else you want to add before we get into the meat and potatoes?
Nope, I'm ready for meat.
She's ready for meat. Awesome. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to share with you a little teeny tiny bit, like 1 minute each, of the reason that we chose to go to Franklin Covey, what we got out of it, and why we feel so passionate about sharing this with you, because really, we didn't have to do this call. We didn't have to get together and plan, and come up with our agenda and what are we going to share, because it's not something that's required, but because we feel so passionate about it, we wanted to make that time and do this for you to hopefully maybe you receive some of the blessings if you implement. I'm sure there's probably people that went to Franklin Covey and paid the money to go there, drove there, airfare, whatever it was, and might not be implementing anything yet. And that's okay, that's where they're at. But we decided we just wanted to go. We just wanted to take what we were learning and already implementing and just keep going. Why not? Why not do it? So we've done that, and we hope for you that you do the same as well and ask questions on the team page, okay? Because questions are going to help you. Now, we are only permitted to share 2 things, which I think is awesome, because really when all of this information was being shared with us, it was kind of overloading to me to think of how would we possibly regurgitate this to you to be helpful. And when she said we weren't allowed, I was like, yes, thank you. Because it actually would be really unfair for anyone to expect us to regurgitate 14 hours of information, and we aren't even trained to do it. So what we're allowed to share with you, we're going to share. The reason I went to Franklin Covey is because I was personally feeling like I was drowning. I was personally feeling like I wanted to be a well-balanced person and had absolutely no idea how to do it. I kept feeling like, oh, once this happens, then time will free up. Or once that other event happens, then I won't feel like I have as much on my shoulders. What I realized is I was carrying the responsibility of pretty much everybody on our team on my shoulders, and I gave that away. And it's something where I felt like either your success or your failures were all a direct result of something that I did or didn't do. And I realized from listening at Franklin Covey that that's not on me, and how you want your business to look is exactly what you're doing. Let me put this way. What you're doing for your business and where you're at is exactly what you want for your business and what you want for you. I can't own that, so that was a huge relief. So you probably saw me pull back a lot on the team page because I was really feeling compelled to share so many things that I felt I was being helpful, and I felt it was something that was possibly needed. And now I learned from the things that I learned there that that's not it. That you have to have your own wings and you have to fly and you have to look for the information that you need and make the time to do that in your schedule. And if you have questions, you ask those. So the reason I went is probably huge and, oh boy, tenfold. But I wanted to feel more balanced in my family life, in my work life, in my friend life. And I wanted to include so many things that really felt impossible for me to do. I kind of felt like, nope, I can only include 3 things here, and then 3 things here, and 3 things here. Like, I set limits on myself because I didn't know how to do it. And I feel completely freed and able to do this, and last week was the best week of my life that I have probably ever had in the last 3 years, where I did not feel tired or overwhelmed any single day last week. It was amazing. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Abby, so you can share a little bit, because I know that this was really, this had some aha moments for you too this weekend.
Okay, I guess I can say that I'm pretty straightforward and I'm not very long-winded, so unlike Carrie. But for me, why I went, well, whenever Beachbody put it out that there was going to be a training in Pittsburgh, that was my first key to really think about going, because my family's down that way. You know, I'm 5 hours northeast of Pittsburgh, and you know, any chance I can get to go and visit my family at least for a few days, I will try to go. So it was in Pittsburgh was my first reason for going. My second reason for going was my mom, who is a retired superintendent, has been to Franklin Covey trainings, and she highly recommended that I go because they're amazing. So I said, okay, let's do it, let's go. You know, I knew it was on time management, but I really had no idea what it could possibly be like. I mean, time management, I think, okay, I'm a stay-at-home mom. I think I organized my time pretty well. You know, what else could I possibly learn from this training? And after 2 full days of it, I have learned that I do not organize my time well, and I don't get many things done that I think that I should be doing, and I'm not well balanced. You know, a lot of my time gets set up with parenting, with kids, and you know, some Beachbody here and there, or maybe throughout the day, or you know, in between a load of laundry and doing dishes. So I'm not really focused on really one thing, and you know, my husband, you know, where does that come into play? Like, I just was not balanced anywhere. So coming out of the 2 days was just eye-opening for me to basically build a better schedule. That's the reason I went, and I'm so glad I did. Gary, back to you.
Yep. And you know what made me think of, because there's probably people listening to this call who feel like they're so busy, and I can't do that, I'm so busy, or I can't possibly fit that in, I'm so busy, but yet at the end of the day, they're feeling so unaccomplished because they didn't focus on what they wanted to focus on. They let everything coming at them be the focus because they thought it was priority or felt like it was rushed and needed to be done. And there were times that I felt like that too, where I'm like, oh, I didn't even get my stuff done. So this amazing training taught us how to zero in what it is that we're focusing on a daily basis. And everybody's is going to be different. Abby's are different than mine, and everybody on this call, you might have a couple things in common. But it helped us really focus on what it was that we were supposed to put our time into, and then everything else would fall into place. So we're going to go a little bit into how many hats each person wears every day, right? When we first did this exercise, and we put a check marks next to different hats a person could wear, whether you are a mom, whether you're a boss, an employee, an aunt, a bus driver. I say chef because if you're a parent and you're making food, you're a chef, sous chef, whatever. So there's lots of different things that could go there, and we'll have some homework for you that we'll post on our T page after that's going to help you narrow this down for yourself, because you might be a person who kind of feels pulled in a whole bunch of different directions because maybe you wear about 27 hats on a daily basis and you're trying to be 100% for all of those, and that's absolutely impossible. Absolutely impossible. And in all of those hats, probably the ones that are most important to you are the ones that are suffering most from lack of time, lack of patience, all that kind of stuff. Maybe that you're putting those last. So it allowed us to really look at what it was that was important to us, and we're going to break those down to 5 to 7. That is the only number of hats you should be wearing on a daily basis, where you're putting most of your time. And for me, I was like, oh, how do I break that down to 5 to 7? And I was able to only choose 6. That were most important to me and that of where I really wanted to spend my time. And when we schedule our time by putting in those 6 hats first, all the other stuff, it'll still get done. It'll still get done, but you are prioritizing and you're feeling really pretty fantastic because your friend time is in. If you're a volunteer, you have your volunteer time in. If you're a spouse, your husband is included in there, your wife. Everybody's feeling valued, and I'm just going to say the weather around you just changes because everybody feels valued. It is such an awesome thing. In terms of roles, Abby, do you want to add a little bit to that and also share maybe with how many hats you had at first and then what you narrowed it down to?
Well, you covered it so well. I didn't have 27 hats like some people did because I don't work full-time outside of the home, or I'm not currently volunteering yet because I have another child at home, so that makes it a little bit difficult. But I did narrow it to 5 because I think those are the most important things to me in my life, my hats. And it was just, narrowing those down and then really coming up with a goal as to how you want to be extraordinary in those roles. I can be a spouse, an ordinary spouse, and just kind of go on with my day-to-day and push my spouse away because I've got Beachbody work to do and I've got, the kids to run around and just kind of push that one aside. But if I'm going to be extraordinary in my 5 roles, I need to set aside time for each single role that I have, whether it's an hour in the evening to spend just quality time with my husband talking about whatever it is we want to talk about. I know with my kids, I do want them to grow up and know about God. And so I made it a priority, and this actually happened, Carrie, last week. Every single day at 3:30 to 4, I do devotions. We do our daily devotions with my kids, and they know that after school, even my daughter says, when we get home after getting Ethan, we have to do our devotions. And it's something that we've put in every single day, and I feel good about it. I know that they're getting value from that. And I am too, because it's more quality time with them. I put my phone away. I put the computer away. I don't need to answer a message right now. So it's just really been a lot of focus. So once you narrow your hats down, you can focus so much more, and the benefits you get from it is just amazing.
It's so true, and I remember when we were scheduling, and I put in my power hour from 6:30 to 7:30 a.m. I was like, oh, this looks good. This looks good. But do I really want to do that? And come Monday, the alarm went off, and for a second I was like, oh, I was like, okay, like I knew what to do, you know, and it was my time to answer messages where I could really read and take the time, and that was it. All I was doing was answering messages. And then I knew when 7:30 rolled around, guess what? That time from 7:30 to 8:30 was Delaney's time to get ready for school. What I had done in the past is the alarm to get her up would go off at 7:30, and I would get up, and it was almost like I was on my racehorse, and the race is on, you know, and I was trying to get her ready for school, and then while she was brushing her teeth, I was checking messages, and, you know, it was just this such a bizarre, I'm going to call it a bizarre environment that felt normal to me, but yet we were always rushing to get her out the door to make sure she was making the bus, you know, because she was maybe not doing what she was supposed to be doing. But what was going on is she just wasn't getting the one-on-one attention that she needed, and I didn't realize how much the electronics had creeped in. So it felt so awesome to do that 1 hour, get up an hour early, and just do that 1 hour of answering messages, and that included messages that came in the evening, because I no longer answer Facebook messages in the evening if I'm not doing a call. Now after this call I will be off, you know, the internet, because I don't want to be on in the evening. So I'm just going to do things based on what it is that I want to do and the time that I want to do it. So, and a lot of you know now that I answer messages from 6:30 to 7:30 a.m. Does that mean that I'm not going to check them in the afternoon? No, but if I have other things to do, I'm not. You know, and I'm okay with it. Before, it used to cause me a little bit of stress going, but somebody's going to need an answer and they're going to want it fast, you know, and it's okay. The messages will be there tomorrow. It's okay to leave that go. And, you know, I almost feel like I started the weekend like this, like I'm walking around like this, and then once we learned what we learned, I was like, permission to relax. It was awesome. It was so awesome, and I share that with you guys because really I'm an open book, and I'm a person who's never been a business owner before. I'm a person who's never been in the position that she's been in, or that she's in this business before. So we all learn as we go, and bad habits come in, and we have to realize those, and that's the reason we want to do this too, is because in that room in Pittsburgh was a coach of every single rank there possibly could be, including top coach. And what it was cool was it didn't matter who you were and what your rank was there. Nobody talked about it, but everybody was there for the same reason. Everybody wanted to feel more peace, more organization, more balance in their life. And that was the neat commonality, is it doesn't matter who you are. You know, nobody's exempt from life and electronics taking over, and it just, you don't even know how it happened, because little by little was that compound effect. You know, it just happened. So we want you to know that if this is you too, it's okay. Now let's do something to make it better, you know, for you, because there is a better way. There's a more freeing way. I look at my schedule now and I'm like, this is awesome. I have white space, which is absolute free time, nothing planned. And for me, friend time was something that I pushed off. And friend time for me is green. So heck, I'm like, I had 3 green spaces last week. I was like off my rocker with excitement. I was like high on life, higher than a kite. It was a fantastic week. I felt like I took me back again, and I felt like you know, everybody in my life, I was able to think more clearer, and everybody in my life I know was valued. Had more eye-to-eye conversations, and honestly, it felt pretty cool to walk away from technology and only use it when I had planned to use it. So we want to move on a little bit to talk a little bit about that time matrix. You guys watch the videos, and if you need to watch those, you can watch them after. Watching them before definitely helps make sense of it. But let's see, where are we at with time? 9:25. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit of screen share as well, just so that we can make sure that you guys are all on the same page. Okay, do you guys tell me when you see it, Abby?
Yep, it's there.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so this is Franklin Covey's time management matrix, and it probably looks just a little bizarre to you, but really, most of us, bottom line, I know for me, most of my time was wasted time. I think I was walking around being this busy person and thought I was busy, and I was honestly exhausted from feeling like I was so busy, but yet not really feeling like I was accomplishing much. So I know that I spent a lot of time in Q3, meaning there was stuff that was coming at me, messages, emails, texts. To me, that was priority because I felt like people needed to get an answer fast and get back to them fast. And so I would do that, but yet at the end of the day, I was feeling like I didn't get any of my Q2 stuff done. The productive work, the planned work, the power hour, okay, that's where that is. And so I was going to bed going, oh my gosh, I'm so exhausted, I've been so busy all day, what did I do? Because I didn't even do my own power hour. But I spent a lot of time in Q3 being responding to things that were coming at me that really were not important and really were not technically urgent. I think sometimes we may think that all of our stuff is important, but it might not really be that important. Meaning, let me give you an example. My daughter had come to me last week, thank God for this training. She came to me last week and said, it was about 3 minutes before she needed to go out to the bus. And granted, we were doing awesome because we had that one-on-one time. It was her time to get ready. But she goes, oh my gosh, I have this paper and you have to sign it right now. And I said, well, let's take a look at it. When is it due? I don't know, but you need to sign it right now, she said. And so I looked at this paper, and it wasn't even due until the end of May. So I said, you know what? This isn't due till the end of May, so let's set that aside and put that on our task list for later in the week. And she said, oh, that sounds like a good plan. So she already started to get into the mindset, and because she heard me using some of the terminology as well, but she calmed very quickly because of how calm I was about it and realizing it wasn't urgent herself. She just thought it was a paper from school and it probably had to be turned in as soon as possible. So to her, that was a potential Q3 coming at me. Like, you need to look at this. This is urgent, urgent, urgent. But when you break it down, is it really urgent? When is it due? Does this have to be done today? So those are some great questions that you can ask yourself, and I still do that if something's coming in, with me, as well. So some things that you're going to find in like the Q1 are like, okay, this is urgent and important. You get called by the school nurse because your son or daughter has a fever and you have to come pick them up. Well, that's something that's not planned, and that's something that is urgent and important, and you do need to make time to go do that. So it might change your day a little bit, but it's okay. It's workable. Now, number 4 is the stuff that many of us have done when we feel absolute exhaustion from being busy, 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 doing a bunch of nothing. And all we want to do is completely escape. So what do? Do you watch Lifetime movies? Do you watch, are you staring at the TV like blindly? Do you go take a nap? Do you decide that you're going to clean? Because even though you have certain things at work to accomplish, but can you think of other things that are going to help you procrastinate? To not do those things, and also something that might take you. Might make you feel like you're having a mini vacation from your work because you've worked yourself to absolute exhaustion. Abby, do you want to share, a little bit about the time matrix and how you use it?
Sure. When I first started off and we took our questionnaire when we went to this training, of course, questionnaires are very hard for me because I read into them a lot. It's very hard for me to answer a 1 through 10, strongly agree or disagree, but I fell into Q2 and Q4 a lot because I felt like I was productive, but then I'd be exhausted, and I know exactly why I was exhausted because I was doing it all day long, here and there. If my phone went off, I would check it. I would send a message. I mean, every tiny little thing. I wanted to be on top of it, So then I would go exactly right over to Q4 and just be exhausted, and I wouldn't want to do anything. I wouldn't even want to think about anything. So those two really stood out for me. And another thing, Carrie mentioned about today, I did have a Q1 and a Q3 come up today. And you guys will, once you start looking at this and using this, um, you will start using the terminology. Um, Q1, I got a call from my son's school today. You know, he had a bellyache, but of course there was no fever, so I said, fine, you know, just leave him at school. But I was in the middle of grocery shopping, so it was kind of a distraction too. When I got to school and brought him home, I don't know if any of you, whoever's friends with me on Facebook, may have seen his picture. He fell asleep on the couch at 4 o'clock this afternoon, and my son never does that. He will do anything to not fall asleep, ever. So, you know, he's going to be staying home from school tomorrow, so I'm going to have to adjust my schedule from that. And, you know, when I plan my power hours in the morning, it's usually right after my son goes to school, but my daughter is still here. So from 7 to 8 is my power hour, and I still get some Q3s from her saying, you know, coming up to me at the computer, Mom, you know, can I go get dressed? Mom, can I have breakfast? And it's, Lauren, this is my power hour. This is my hour. I will talk to you when I'm done. You know, so there's still kind of some distractions that happen, but at least now, instead of answering those distractions, you know, she is definitely more than capable to wait and to color a picture or to, you know, write in her notebook for the little bit of time that she's awake before I am able to get her ready for school. So these quadrants, you know, we want to focus on Q2. You know, we want to have a good calendar. We want to know that what hats we have picked out that are most important to us. We're focusing on them. You know, we're not letting distractions come out. Like when I do my devotions with my kids, you know, my phone's away, the computer's away, so I'm completely focused on them. When I have my husband time at night, you know, the computer's off, the phone's off, I don't answer it. You know, so those are things that have really helped me, because before at nighttime I would, you know, sit with my husband and we would just hang out, and I would still have my computer and do some work. I mean, it was crazy. So it's just so nice to break everything down. And that's what I got for you, Carrie.
Awesome. And as you were talking, like I was sharing the slides too, so they could see some examples of a Q1, a Q2, a Q3, and a Q4. And we're going to have a form that we're going to upload to the team page as well, so that you guys can elaborate a little bit more and answer some questions about maybe where you're at right now in the quadrant, and about some things that if you focused on, you know, maybe more Q2 activities, more intentional behaviors, more focused behaviors for yourself first, what would change for you? And we want to also have you take a look at the hats that you wear, the different roles that you feel you have in your life. Make a list of those. You may have 5, 10, 15, 20, 35. You know, it really just depends on all the different directions you kind of feel like you, I don't want to say feel that you're pulled in, but those of you that are feeling like you're drowning, you might feel that way. It's the direction that you're being pulled in. But you might feel that you're struggling in many of the areas, because there's no way possible any one person could do each role 100% when you have more than 5 to 7. So we really want you to make a list of the roles that you feel that you have, and the hats that you wear on a daily basis. Then we want you to take those and narrow those down to the 5 to 7 that are most important to you. Okay? And then we want you to share those on the team page, you know, as well, because it feels it's absolutely freeing to actually, once you do that, it almost feels so easy to see where you're going to put your time and where you're going to schedule your time, because that's where you want to put your time. That's where you're going to schedule your time. And then you can even have yourself in there. If you're a person who doesn't have me time, if you're a person who really wants to find you again, it's okay to include yourself as one of those, have that be one of your main focuses of the week. You know, you can be one of those hats. Absolutely. It's not selfish. That's not selfish at all. So we're going to have you share that on the team page as well as a little bit of homework to kind of just really reiterate and solidify what we've talked over a little bit this week. We have to be really careful because we're not technically allowed to teach this to you, but we can share a little bit with you about what we've experienced. And then what we're going to do too is this coming Thursdays, we're going to have some information for you posted as well to get you ready for next week's call, where we're going to go through some information that you can actually start to do in terms of, well, okay, this is great, and I have these hats I have, but you guys are talking about scheduling. How do I do that? We can show you a little bit next week. We'll show you. We'll use the screen sharing, as well, and we'll also share with you a little bit how to set up a task list. And there's an awesome phone app for iPhones, Androids as well. That is awesome. So if you are like me, if you are like I was, and I say was because I think that's so cool, if you are like I was and you had Post-it notes all over the place, note cards, ripped out pieces of paper from a notebook, maybe you misplaced it, everything's going to be in one place. It's going to be so easy for you to be feel productive in all areas of your life because everything's in one place. Maybe you and your husband in your family have 3 different calendars going on. Why not have them all be one and have everybody have access to that calendar? Everybody knows what everybody's doing. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that next week. But we want you, if you have any questions about this quadrant, this is going to be really important. So as things are coming at you, which would be Q3, as things are coming at you and you feel like everything's an emergency, then what you want to do is ask a couple questions like, well, is this urgent? When is this due? And you don't even have to move on that if it's not something that is an emergency for you. It's okay. Somebody's urgency does not have to be your emergency. It's totally okay. And once you don't take ownership of that, it's so much easier to do your stuff. Live your life with your family and then also help your team, okay? I almost said, does anybody have any questions? But we're not in an interactive call right now. So if you guys have any questions, post them on our team page for us. Abby, do you have anything you want to add before we hightail it?
Well, no, just the fact that I would love for you guys to really look at the quadrant picture, the Q1, the Q2, Q3, and Q4, and write some things down in your own personal life that may, that could fit into each of these categories, so you have a better idea of what you're looking for if it happens. Like my daughter coming up to me this morning. That was definitely a distraction. That was definitely a Q3. And I needed to focus, and I needed to redirect her so I could focus. So write some things down that could play a role, in your life that could happen right now in each of those quadrants. That way you can see it.
Yeah. Awesome. Very good. And that was helpful for us, too, and that's why we give you the examples, too, from when we had training. So you can kind of see where some things might be fit in terms of which quadrant does this go in, because it can probably feel a little confusing right now, and that's okay. That's why you had your first exposure last Thursday. You're looking at it again today, and you're hearing a little bit about it, and then you could take a look at the examples again and also come up with your own examples about how it works for your life, and it will all start to make sense. And then by the time we show you what we're going to show you next week, and if you actually do what we're going to show you next week, oh my goodness, like you're going to want, like we were so excited, like I was like, I want to dance on the table, like we were just so excited, and if this shares with you a little bit about how people were so pumped about this, we're in the process of implementing, and Denise says, hey you guys, if you've gotten to step so-and-so by now, you can go ahead and go to lunch early. Nobody got up. Nobody got up. We were so excited about what were doing that we just didn't want to stop because it was that everybody could see how life-changing this was already going to be and how simplified our lives were going to be, that we were like, oh, who needs lunch? We're gonna, we're gonna do this, and because this is helping us in our life, and we carried that energy with us to lunch. Like, we were just, thank goodness we had to walk a little bit because we had some energy to expand. But we are here for any questions that you guys have. We are living this, we are doing this, and we are not going back. There's no turning back because there's so much more freedom in what we're doing here. We feel more professional. We feel more even adequate. Nobody likes to feel like at the end of the day, oh my gosh, there was like 20 things I didn't get to on my list. Oh, I totally suck. Nobody wants to feel like that, okay? And I know everybody's probably, we're all so much worse to ourselves than what we would ever be to somebody else. And honestly, if you've got like 20-some things on your to-do list, no one person possibly could even tackle that and not have any left over. So if that's you, let that go. Just let it go, and let's help you come up with a more simplified way to do this, and start with the baby steps that we shared with you tonight. Do the homework. Do it for you. The homework isn't for us. You're not turning it in for us. You're doing it for you. Abby and I are already implementing this and doing this. We're doing it. We would love for you to come along with you and do this if you're looking for the same things that we were looking for. If not, that's totally fine, and that's on you. We don't own that. All we could do is share it with you and hope that you do it, and we would love to answer any questions that you guys have about it because we're doing it. And what better person to ask than people that are doing it? So, all right, you guys have an awesome week.